to the box score here on DTC Sports. Jeff Barnes, along with Terry Collins and Justin Malden, doing all the hard work behind the scenes. But Jeff, we're knee-deep in district play. About the first round, I guess, is now getting to be over, and you're kind of seeing the haves with the have-nots. Still one more round to go. Still a lot of games. You know, when you look at a 7-team district, that's 6 district games to go between now and February the 10th, which is most of the time when regular season is over. But still, you're seeing teams kind of filter out and kind of show, you know, what they're made of.
Exactly. You know, we're on, like you said, we're almost to the halfway point. District 7 is. They start the second half of the season coming up Friday, and we'll look at the district a little bit later on. But you can kind of tell, you know, some teams are making some moves, and in the second half, you always wonder, that team that's at the bottom, you know, which team is going to make that move?
Right. And, you know, in a 7-team district, a 2 is going to play a 7, a 3 a 6, a 4 a 5. And it's all about matchups. Sometimes even a 7-team might give a 2-team a hard game just because they cause matchup trouble, either their quickness or their height or the deliberate style that they play. You know, that could come to effect.
And, you know, a scary thing about a 7 playing a 2, a 7 has nothing to lose.
Right.
They've had a tough season, but, you know, when a coach tells you, hey, it's 0-0,
yeah,
and you know, that can fire up a team.
It definitely can. And when you look at District 7A, of course, Gordonsville, remember there, you know, you've only got 5 teams, so if you stay out of that 4 or 5 game, you're automatically in the region. And 6AA, which 3 of our teams, Cannon County, Watertown, and Smith County, are a member of, you know, there's only 4 teams, so there's no pressure really in your semifinal game because, hey, if I lose by 50 in the consolation and the semifinal game, I've still got a chance to go on the road and maybe beat a number 1 team, you know, in that first round of the region. Of course, it would be at the host site of that District 5A champion, or 5AA champion, but still, that's a reality.
And it makes you wonder when a team like that would go to like you said, a number 1, number 2 ranked team that you know in that region is going to be tough. Mm-hmm. Can they be a good giant slayer come next month?
Well, you look at you know, at Jackson County, you know, in York and Monterey and those type teams, which is the teams that District 6AA will be playing. A lot of them have played regular season games, so it's not an unfamiliar foe.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. You know, when you get some region games in the season, kind of gives you a chance to kind of measure up mm-hmm. on how you look over there. So it you know, kind of takes a little bit of pressure off knowing that, well, okay, we played competitively in the regular season. You know, can we end their season and make it give us a magical run?
We had a Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week over in Woodbury. We had Watertown at Cannon County. Josh and I was over there for that. And even though Watertown went out to a 15-11 lead after the first quarter, it was all Cannon County after that. Addie King with 14 points, Anderson Holtz with 13, 6 threes between the two. The freshman Macy Braley had 9 for Watertown, but Watertown only 1 made field goal in the second, 1 made field goal in the third, and about the first 4 or 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, only 1 made field goal. Watertown really struggled to score at Woodbury in this game.
Yeah, we've seen that pretty much all season, even in November and December, Terry, whenever Watertown would have that struggle, especially the third quarter.
We looked at the Watertown and Cannon County boys once again. After 1 quarter, it was 8-4 Watertown. Cannon County got up to a double-figure lead. Then Theo Winters goes out with an injury there with about 2 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the game. Watertown makes a little push. KJ Wood had all 13 of his points for Watertown in that second half. Made a big run, you know, to cut a double-figure lead to, you know, 4, 5, 6 is about the closest they got. Trent Spradlin held to 10 points. They did a good job defensively on him. Theo Winters leading the way for Cannon. He had 15 points, a lot of those coming in the first half, and then the freshman Lucas Phillips with 12. But that's a big district win for Cannon County.
It is, and you know, hats off to them because both teams like to play a good defensive game. This is kind of fell in kind of Watertown's hands with a low-scoring game, but unfortunately, like you said, you know, Winters got hot. there. Wood did all he could to bring them back, but the Purple Tigers come up a little short.
Let's go ahead and look at the Sonic of Carthage scoreboard for the District 7A girls. Clark Range, a big win over neighbor Wartburg. And then Clay County, they beat Clark Range by 18. I'm not surprised that Clay County win, with head coach Matt Walker, but the amount, that was a little bit more further distance than I thought. A lot of people maybe have thought that would have been a closer game.
Yeah, I thought so too. Whenever I saw the final on that, I figured that, if Clay County was going to win, and I think both of you and I talked last week, this was a game that probably would go in Clay County's favor, but 18 points, right. That was a little surprising.
Red Bowling Springs gets a big win over Pickett County, 52-41. Tara Pryor, the Red Bowling Springs first-year head coach. Of course, she's got a senior-laden squad. Doesn't have but, 7, 8 players, I guess. About 6 of those in the rotation. But, Red Bowling gets the win, and, that it's just not a whole lot of difference in Red Bowling and Pickett and Clay. Clark Range may be a notch below them and Gordonsville a notch below that, but still, you can't sleep on Clark Range and Lamar Rogers. The success he's had, the most wins in girls in the history of the state of Tennessee. I think it's over 1,300 now. So, Clark Range will get things figured out.
I think so too. And watch Clark Range probably in the second half. They're probably going to get a home game out of this.
Let's go ahead and look at the more scores. Clay County big over Gordonsville. That game at Gordonsville, 61-37, and then Pickett beats Clark Range by 6. Kind of a rebound game for them, and then in a narrow game, Red Bowling Springs gets the win. I think that game was at Gainsborough, 51-49. So, Red Bowling Springs, they do what they do. We've talked about it. They went through a little bit of lull there, Jeff. They were playing real well. Played White County very tough. I think it was like a 4-point game. Decided in the final minute. But Red Bowling Springs, a team that, they just do what they do, and they do it well. They, you don't see them taking a lot of bad shots. They're solid defensively. They're going to be a tough out come tournament time.
They are. Watch out for them. I think everybody in the district needs to watch out, even in the region. And looking at Clay County over Gordonsville, their troubles unfortunately continue. Don't know if they're ever going to get Kaylee back.
Underwood girls probably out for the year. It was good to see her. I went to the 5th and 6th grade tournament in Smith County at Smith County High School last Saturday night. I did see her in attendance, so it was pretty good to see her at least out. But of course, losing her, a freshman point guard, but really 2 years of experience, played a lot as an 8th grader. Be hard for Jake Diller to replace her. Let's go ahead and look at the standings. Clay County sitting on top. They are number 4 in the state at 4-0. Got a 2-game lead there. And when you look at that, one round is over in District 7A. They start the second round coming up, I think, on Friday night. And Red Bowling Springs, Pickett, and Clark Range all have beat each other. And Gordonsville sit there at 0-4. So who gets that second spot still up for grabs, and then Gordonsville look like they're kind of locked into 5th right now.
You and I talked about this, that there could be a lot of shuffling in that 2, 3, 4 spot. Clark Range, sitting there, Pickett County, Red Bowling Springs. This is going to be a good district to watch right here, and that is 7 single A. Because, can Clark Range make a move? Can anybody make a move on Clay County and knock them off? And also, too, will Gordonsville ever, get back into the race, or are they going to have to try and be giant killers from district tournament?
Let's go ahead and look at some Sonic Carthage scores from the boys' side. Clark Range big over Wartburg. Then on Friday the 13th, Clay County beats Clark Range by 40, and then Pickett beats Red Bowling by 30 in a pretty high-scoring ball game.
Kind of Friday the 13th kind of vibes right there with that Clay County Clark Range game. Figured it'd be a little closer. I know Clay County is the better team, but a 40-point win, that was a little bit surprising.
Let's go ahead and look at some more scores. Of course, Westmoreland gets the win over Red Boiling. Red Boiling seems to play everybody close, but can't get over the hump. And when you look at Andrew Molinax's squad, junior dominated squad, you still got to be aware of them when it comes to tournament, although they may be the number 5 seed.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, they probably could be. I hope that they can make a move, but playing the Eagles, that's a tough one right there.
Clay County gets the win over Gordonsville. That game at Gordonsville by 8. It was tied at halftime, 18 apiece, I think. But then Clay County and Rob Edwards, hats off to him. Of course, the gym named in his honor at Salina. He's done a lot of great things, and he goes on the road and gets a big win at Gordonsville.
Yeah, that's a huge win for them, and it kind of keeps them up there right around that 2, right. and possibly 1. So that was a good win, and Gordonsville not an easy place to play at.
Yeah, that was a battle for first place in the district. Pickett County gets the win over Clark Range, and Jackson County beats Red Boiling by 13. Let's go ahead and look at those standings. Clay County sitting on top there at 4-0, Gordonsville at 3-1, Pickett 2-2. Clark Range 1-3. Of course, they got the win, 1-point win, I think it was, over Red Boiling Springs. That's how it pans out after the first round of the district play. When you look at these standings and you see that Clay County's ranked 2nd in the state, Gordonsville's ranked 7, Pickett 10. Pickett sitting there at 12-7. I don't think going into this year we thought that Pickett would struggle as much as they have. They've lost 2 or 3 games at home, which usually never happens.
Yeah, that is a surprise. I figured that there would be at least a tie for 2nd. Pickett being at 2-2 and 12-7 on the year. I'm kind of like you, Terry. I'm very surprised on that.
In Pickett's defense, they have a lot of guards. They don't have very many big men. When you look at what Gordonsville did at Pickett and beating them by 16 points, they just pounded in there to Brody Sykes, who's 6'5", and Pickett had no answer. I think he had 28 points in that ball game. So, Pickett, Joseph Amonette, he'll get it figured out, and I'm sure there'll be a team to reckon with come this second half of the regular season and then on into tournament play. We'll have a look at the District 6AA and Sub-AA scoreboard brought to you by Sonic when we return, as we remind you watching the box score brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business, we'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
Life moves fast, and that means all of your technology should too. DTC is proud to be your local technology partner, helping you connect what matters most, no matter where you are or what you do.
Realize your inner superhero with faster internet from DTC. Get a $50 bill credit when you sign up or upgrade your internet. We're talking unlimited plans with speeds up to 1 gig.
DTC Communications, connecting what matters most.
And welcome back to the box score. We're looking at scoreboards from District 6AA and 7 AAA. And we'll start out with 6AA, the Sonic of Carthage scoreboard. Smith County goes on the road to Westmoreland. They continue their downward spiral, I guess you could say. This was their 5th straight defeat. And they just really have struggled to score, have the Lady Owls.
And when you go up a team like Westmoreland, who is all about defense, not surprising that they were able to, hold opponent, and we've seen them do that quite a bit, hold opponent in their 20s.
Cannon County at home gets the big win over Watertown after being down 4 after the first quarter. They win by 26. They outscored them by 30 in the final 3 quarters. Then on Saturday, Cannon County gets a win over Huntland. Creekwood gets the win over Westmoreland. Westmoreland really struggled on the offensive end.
Yeah, kind of surprised on that, but the Creekwood, the teams right around in that Nashville, Davidson County area, they look pretty good. Now, can they go deep into the postseason? That remains to be seen.
I think Creekwood's up close to Clarksville, but I can't remember. That's a newer school or out toward that way. A team that we've seen, and they've had some pretty successful girls programs during their existence. Let's go ahead and look at some more scores. On Monday night, Watertown gets the win over White House, a low-scoring affair. And then last night, Smith County goes to Macon County and loses by 18. A team that Smith County beat at home by 14 back on December the 3rd, but they really struggled against the Tigerettes. Carly Ramsey, a big night for Macon County, and they seem to be playing better. I know they beat Gordonsville pretty handily up there at Lafayette on a Saturday night here. A week or 2 ago. So, first-year head coach Caitlin Thompson seems to have gotten things going. It's just they play in such a tough district in 7 AAA that makes it awful hard. And their wins are probably not as much as they would hope because they're playing such quality competition. Let's go ahead and look at the standings in Westmoreland and Cannon County. Of course, they collide coming up this Friday night in Woodbury. I think it'll be a good measuring stick for Cannon County, but they look to be the best 2 teams in the district thus far, Jeff.
I think, Cannon County and Westmoreland could be a good game. One thing about Cannon, can they find some offense against Westmoreland? Because they're going to come in and they're going to make sure that, that they're going to put up a good defensive game. They're 16-7 overall. Cannon County 12-6. Those 2, it'll be interesting whenever they play this Friday and whenever they play again in February.
Of course, this game in Woodbury, and then Smith County hosts Watertown. And the loser, you don't lock them into the 4 spot or the winner into the 3 spot, but still, you see a little separation there. And with after Friday night's play, you'll be at the halfway point of the district schedule.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if can Smith County make a move on either on Cannon County, knock them down and get them a higher seat, or will they make some noise in the district tournament to get a home game?
Of course, Smith County is hosting the district tournament, so that's a big plus. But they've lost 6 in a row, so they've really struggled to score offensively. Let's go ahead and look at the 6AA. Scores. Westmoreland gets the win over Smith County up at Westmoreland. Their length really bothered the Owls. They win it by 9, and then the game we had last Friday night, Cannon County wins at home by 6 over Watertown. Then on Saturday night, Cannon County boys get a big win over Huntland, 56-45. Let's look at other scores from 6AA on Monday night. Westmoreland beats Red Boiling by 7. White House gets a 14-point win over Watertown. And then last night, Smith County beats Macon County 58-40. Macon really scored. In fact, if it hadn't been for, I think his name's Brady Driver for Macon, he had 24 of their 40 points. They just struggled to score.
Yeah, and Brady, in the game whenever they played White County last Friday, which I know we'll talk more about, but Brady, kept them in the game. As a matter of fact, their free throw shooting was able to keep them in most games so far.
Of course, Michael Owens in his first year for Macon County. Let's go ahead and look at the standings, and you see Westmoreland on top there at 2-0. Cannon County sitting there tied for second with Smith County at 1-1. Of course, Westmoreland travels to Woodbury on Friday night, and then Smith County hosts Watertown. But, I don't know that there won't be a lot of parity, and when they come to Bill Landreth Gym in Carthage, a 4 beating a 1 or a 3 beating a 2 is not out of the realm of possibility.
No, I think so. 2, 3, and 4. That's. I don't think that's going to be decided until the end. But Smith County's got some guys back. I think Smith County can make some noise. Could they possibly in the second half maybe go after Westmoreland? Westmoreland
girls and boys sitting on top of the district race. And we'll see more about Westmoreland girls after Friday night's game. Let's go ahead and look at the Sonica Carthage scores. On the girls' side for District 7 AAA, White County a big win over Macon County, Cumberland big over DeKalb. Livingston beats Upperman. That game, I think, in Baxter. And, you just got to give Leslie Riddle a lot of credit going on the road to Baxter. A very tough place today, play, a very hostile crowd. Of course, I know they had some ejections in that game from people they threw out. But still, Livingston sitting there getting both wins, and we'll talk about the boys in a minute. But go to Upperman and beat both of their teams, that's a feather in anybody's hat.
Oh, exactly. And I knew that was going to be the game last night, was Upperman going to be able to beat Livingston, possibly create a 3-way tie for first. Did not happen, but the Warrior-Ents game against Macon County, Warrior-Ents jumped out big, just never really looked back and led by as much as 20 at halftime.
Of course, Knoxville gets the win over Stone Memorial. Let's go ahead and look at other scores. Sonica Carthage bring you these as Cumberland County beats White County 54-47. Cumberland County, Jeff, you and I have talked about this. I think they have the pieces to really throw things haywire in the district. They've got a veteran club, a lot of girls who started 2 and 3 years for the Lady Jets. It seemed like they kind of put it all together against White County.
And the one thing about it I can say about Media Day back in October, I had Cumberland County picked to win.
Right.
And that's on the girls' side because they have a lot of that core coming back. I was surprised how much they had been struggling, but they played awful well defensively. They put a lot of pressure on the Warrior-Ents, created a lot of turnovers, and made the Warrior-Ents take some bad shots too. Warrior-Ents kind of uncharacteristic of them. Late in the game, they had chances to take the lead. Cumberland County, an excellent free throw shooting team too.
Upperman beats DeKalb. Livingston big over Stone Memorial. That was a pretty wider margin than I was thinking. And then Macon County with a 32-point turnaround, a 14-point loss in Carthage, and then they get the win in Lafayette by 18 over a struggling Smith County team who has their 6th straight defeat. Let's go ahead and look at the standings. You've got Livingston sitting on top there, a 2-game lead. And, Jeff, I really didn't think, and I don't mean this to sound bad, after one round, I didn't think anybody had the possibility of going through the gauntlet. And I realized some of those games at Livingston, some they've won big on the road, like at Upland. But I really didn't know that anybody could go undefeated on, one trip through.
Me neither, Terry. And, I was thinking that if anything, there was going to be a 3-way tie for the top spot. or possibly a four-way tie, because when you look at that top four and everybody ranked, Livingston, they held on to beat White County. They've had some, they played some tough teams. Some teams has given them some problems. They got a good win against Upperman, very deservedly so, that they're 6-0. But second half of the season is going to be interesting.
Leslie will be the first to tell you, hey, we're 0-0 right now as we start the second half of the District 7 AA regular season race. And, it speaks volume. Upperman sitting there at 2, White County at 5, Livingston at 6, Cumberland County at 9. To have 4 teams out of one district in the top 10 of the state, that speaks volume.
It just goes to show how good this district is. You got 4 teams ranked in the state. You had an Upperman team right now is in a 3-way tie for second, finished 4th last year, but went on to win the state tournament.
Let's go ahead and look at the Sonic Carthage boys scores. White County big over Macon County. DeKalb gets the win over Cumberland County by 14. Livingston goes to Upperman, wins that game by 2. And then Knox 12 over Stone Memorial. But what a big win that kept Livingston undefeated. Jeff, that was huge to go to Beeville and get a win.
Yeah, they have been awful close. White County gave them a good game, and they've been kind of flirting with it. Trying, staying undefeated all season. But give them a lot of credit. You talked about Upperman being a hostile environment. White County's got to go there Friday night, but that's a tough place to play. DeKalb, oh gosh, give them give them props. Good win against Cumberland County, and White County jumped out to like a 26-4 lead. Jake Davis for White County had 19 just in the first quarter alone.
Let's go ahead and look at the scores from Tuesday night, and we'll see. I guess the big surprise or big shock is Stone at home gets the win over Livingston to give them their first defeat. I thought Stone would win, but never in my wildest dreams did I think it'd be 44 points.
Randall, who does the games for Cumberland County, he and I were talking, we knew Stone was Stone. They're going to be tough at home. We figured that they would somehow pull off the victory. We thought 4 or 5. We never thought 44. I never thought that it would be that wide of a margin, but man, did the Panthers show that they need to flip-flop from 5 to 1 with Livingston?
And that'll be up to the voters come next week.
That is true.
Associated Press. White County gets a big win against Cumberland County, 70-51. Upperman beats DeKalb 67-53, and Smith County gets the win in Lafayette, 58-40. Let's go ahead and look at the standings. Sitting on top there is Stone Memorial at 6-0. Livingston just a game back at 5-1. Upperman sitting there at 4-2. White County at 3-3. DeKalb, they're sitting there right now at that 5 spot. White County and DeKalb, very close game at Smithville earlier in the year. A game that DeKalb had a double-figure lead in the second half and couldn't hold on. That's kind of been Joey Agee's bugaboo with the Tigers this year. They can get a lead, but they can't hold it.
Yeah, and they got a good group, and that was true whenever White County played DeKalb in Smithville. They had a 17-point lead in the second half. Even though they're sitting in that 4 spot, I think that they're going to make a move to get in that top 4.
Very talented squad for Joey Agee and a senior laden squad as well. We'll have an interview with VanVranken, who just scored a 1,000-point, and Brandy Alley, the first-year head coach at DeKalb County. When we return, as we remind you, you're watching the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with 1 truck and a couple old borrowed trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business, we'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
Here's normal internet speed. Here's the gig difference. Average speed, gig. Not enough speed, gig speed. With gig internet from DTC, everything's different. Video streaming is a breeze. Music and photos fly. And gaming gets real with no data limits. That's the gig difference. Call or visit DTC online and get your gig today.
And we're joined now by the first-year head coach for DeKalb County girls, Miss Brandy Alley, and she's got her 1,000-point score. Miss Ella VanVranken, the juniors, with us. And first of all, Coach Alley, to have a player like Ella VanVranken, tell us what it means to your team. She's a special, special talent.
She absolutely is a special talent. She is definitely one of those that will step up to any challenge we give her. She's taken on a leadership role, so this year has been a lot of her finding how to control situations and taking over, and she definitely has done it. And everybody else wants to play harder just being on a team with her, so she's definitely special to have.
Coach, she not only can score, and I'm saying this out of just pure admiration by how hard she plays on the defensive end, and night in, night out, she's the best defender on the floor.
Absolutely. I think her defense makes everybody step up, and then, in practice, her and her sister competing definitely always adds something to it. But most definitely having her just being the one person, there's a few that I've never had to say play harder, and she's definitely the leader of that.
Ella, talk about joining that exclusive 1,000-point club against Watertown.
It was a very exciting honor to get awarded to myself. It's been one of my biggest goals ever since I was a freshman, so I was super excited to receive it.
When you look, Ella, at the ceremony that they had there, of course it was a big crowd against Watertown. I think you got it back on December the 21st. But to be a part of something like that with a huge crowd and the pomp and circumstance, I guess, that goes along with that, it was a big deal. And I know as just a basketball fan, to be part of those moments are special. Just how special was it to you to get to enjoy that with you and your teammates, your sister, a freshman on the team? It had to be pretty special for you.
Yes, it definitely was super special. I love the girls on my team, and they're all like family, and it was great to just be awarded with that, with a big home crowd. So it was definitely a great experience.
Ella, a question that, I know you're very successful in track. Your mom was as well. Your mom can even shoot the ball pretty well. I saw that in the game at Carthage when she won that money. But I see where she gets that talent from. But and not to put you on the spot, but I know track is a big part of your life and basketball as well. Is there one that's a favorite?
They both have their good qualities and bad qualities. I don't really know if I have a favorite. Track is more individualized as opposed to having such a team connection like I do with basketball. So it brings different aspects out in both. So I don't know if I could say I have a favorite.
How special has it been to play with your little sister Chloe, who's really improved? I know I saw y'all early in the year. Not that she was timid, but she has really come on as of late when y'all have had some injuries and playing good basketball for you.
It's a very special thing. I love playing with my little sister, and she has become a lot more feisty out on the court, so it's great to watch her grow.
Ella, when you've been pretty much a starter all of your life, even as a freshman for DeKalb County, have you passed along any advice for Chloe if she wants to kind of follow in your footsteps?
Definitely. Always just work hard and make sure you're getting in extra time outside of team practices. Definitely go to group sessions and stuff like that and work with a trainer. And I've just always told her to just keep her head up and not get too in her mind in the games.
Ella, in the game we had on DTC TV against Watertown, we were joking here before we started our interview. You hit 4 or 5 threes in the first half there. Your team hit 10. And you shoot, 30, 31, 32 footers like they're 18 or 20 footers. What's the key to being able to make a shot from that far out?
I just try to use my legs as much as possible and keep that follow-through form going. Sometimes it's more of an adrenaline rush when you shoot it to get it there than anything. So it's great when I can make those long-distance shots.
Coach Allie, does she have the green light at any time?
Absolutely. Definitely. She has that green light. We've talked about timing and stuff, and as long as she's in rhythm, she has that green light. And you ask her what are some keys to her being able to make those, and really it comes down to she practices those shots in practice every day. And so there's no timid to it. She's just, she's going to hit it, and that's one reason she has a green light that deep is, sitting over on the sideline watching her do it every day, she's capable of it every time.
Ella, we've seen you hit some shots and some amazing shots, and I saw you against White County. It looked like you put one up from, I think, around Alexandria when you shot that one and was able to make it. But you've got such a quick release. But when you get in a rhythm like that, does the hoop look like it's really, really huge?
When you're hitting a bunch from outside the three-point line, you just got to keep shooting because once you're hot, and it's hard to stop that once you're on a roll.
Ella, when you look at, your season, I know you play in a very, very tough district. When you look at 4 teams ranked in the top 10 of the state, but, I know to play against teams like that on a night-in, night-out basis, you face a lot of different defenses, a lot of different gimmicks. Is it kind of tough when you start the game to know, hey, here's how they're playing me and here's what I want to do?
Well, right off the bat, you can see if they're going to face guard you or not, or if they're in a zone. So I try to look at that and then adjust from there and get my team to adjust from there.
When you look at, Ella, the things that you do, I think one of the things that I was more impressed with, even as a freshman, is your ability to drive the basketball and especially finish with the left hand. Are you partially left-handed? Because it looks like those, with the ease that you shoot it with, and I've seen you shoot it from 8-10 foot out, a lot of times trying to bank it. Is that something you just practice on a lot in order to get stronger with that left hand? Because a lot of people can't finish with the left hand, especially, maybe they can with a layup, but Ella, you're doing that from 8, 10, 12 foot out.
It's just something you have to practice. I'm a right-handed shooter, but you have to, ever since I was in middle school, I've always favored my left hand with layups. I don't really know why, but you just have to practice banking in shots and stuff like that with your left hand because you never know which way the defense is going to come off of you.
When you look, Ella, down the road, and I know I'm probably getting the cart in front of the horse, but you're going to have a decision to make, possibly to go to track, to play college or basketball. Is there an opportunity maybe in your future to do both at the collegiate level?
I could probably do both at a D3 school, but if I wanted to play at the D1 level, I would definitely have to pick. So right now, I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do yet, but there's probably a little bit better opportunity with track for the D1 level. So I'll probably try to focus more on that for the collegiate stuff.
Ella, when you got the 1,000-point, we've talked with several that's gotten that, and I think it was Trent Spradlin down at Watertown when we was talking with him about getting the 1,000-point. You can tell that the crowd really loves you there at DeKalb County when they come out and they support the Lady Tigers. How much support did you get after the game? Was people sticking around wanting to get their picture with you?
Yeah, there was so much just support at the 1,000-point game and also at the award ceremony. And it was great to just have people come down and want to say hi to you. And a couple little kids wanted to take a picture. So it was great to see basketball and how it's impacted our community.
Ella, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was thinking you co-opted maybe at Warren County when you did your track. Is that right?
Yes, sir. We have a cross-country team here, but we do not have a track, so we co-op, and I go run for them.
Well, I guess that's something that we could talk to some different people. Maybe we could get a track around your football field, but how tough does that make it to practice? I've never run track, so I really don't, know how that goes, but to practice the different things, I guess you would actually have to have a track, correct?
So I try to get up to Warren County's track at least 2 to 3 times a week. And then you only usually have 2 hard workouts a week that you need a track for. And then the others consist of like distance runs and upbeat, like longer runs. So I try to do those in DeKalb.
Well, tell us what you run in track, because I know everybody has their own specialties when it comes to that. Tell us what Ella VanVranken maybe specializes in track and field.
I'm more of a mid-distance to long-distance runner. So in track, I do the 800-meter, which is a half a mile, and then I do the 1,600, which is a mile.
Right. And tell us about your mom. Did she not run track in college as well? And maybe I've got that up wrong, but I was thinking she did.
She did. She ran track and cross-country at the University of Tennessee. So it's a big thing to look up to, and it's great having her to coach me and help me through it.
Did she run the same events that you ran, Ella, or did she do different ones?
Yes, sir. She ran the same events as I do right now.
Coach Alley, when you look at a player like Ella VanVranken, they don't come along that often. She's already got 1,000 points, got that before Christmas in her career. To be a part of this, and I feel like I've been blessed over the years covering Smith County to see some of the, I've seen the all-time leading scorer at Smith County High School, there for her games. How special is it just to be able to watch the talent that this young lady has?
It's definitely something great. I got to coach against her last year with Coach Buck. So it's definitely great to be the one that gets to encourage and push her from this side instead of how do you stop her, because she is a special player. And it's just been, again, just watching her grow into leadership and understanding that she has something good and something that people will look up to and saying, all right, well, how can I keep showing that every night? And, on the court you see a lot, but how much she controls and how much she is motivational to her teammates is something that y'all don't necessarily get the luxury to see. That is a great thing as a coach to sit back and watch.
Coach Alley, you finished 2-4 in the first half of the regular season. The second half of the district season starts this Friday night. Good thing about the second half, Coach, you've got 4 home games, so you got a chance to, maybe possibly pull an upset or two to get in that top 4.
That's always a goal. You always come out every night willing to fight, and a lot of our coaches in our district have talked just about how you never know what you're going to get on a given night. You never know who's going to show up, who's going to hit the most shots. In some games, it comes down to that. And so just having everybody played once and knowing what we can do and how we can approach it differently and just make improvements and, battle every time we step on the court. And that'll be the key point, and hopefully we will get an upset somewhere.
All right, Miss Ella, I'm going to ask you a tough question here. I know, we've thrown you some pretty good lob shots in there, but if Ella VanVranken could pick where she wanted to go to college and what sport she would play, what would it be?
I would probably pick the University of Tennessee. I've always been a Vols fan ever since I was little, and I would probably try to run. I think basketball would be a little too much pressure because it's a very popular sport up there. So I'd probably pick cross country and track.
Well, Ella VanVranken and Brandy Alley, we appreciate y'all taking time to be with us. Ella, congratulations on 1,000 points, and best of luck for the rest of the year to both of you. And we've been visiting with Coach Brandy Alley of DeKalb County and Ella VanVranken. We'll have more of the box score brought to you by Carthage Safeway when we return.
Do you ever worry about the safety of your home when you leave? Or at night while you're sleeping? Then give your home a professional security makeover with help from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. Don't put off this important decision.
Contact us and start your home's DTC Security makeover today.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business, we'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old borrowed trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Welcome back to the box score for the final segment. And during this segment, we always talk about the upcoming games that we have. We want to remind everybody we'll have the Smith County Elementary Tournament coming up. We'll take that thing on the last Saturday in January. I think that's the 28th. And then we'll play it at a later date. But we're excited about having the Constellation and Championship of those games. It's the only chance we get to cover many of our junior high teams. I know they are excited about being on radio and TV. That's a change for them.
It is, and that's the future. Give them a little exposure and see what it's going to be like whenever they play on that next level. Future
Gordonsville Tigerettes and future Smith County Owls and Lady Owls. Let's go ahead and look at the upcoming games. We'll talk about them. Pickett County at Livingston. That's always a bitter rivalry. I think Livingston went on the road, if I remember right. I know they beat Pickett boys, and I really think Livingston girls won at Pickett as well. Return match on Thursday, January the 19th, coming up here in a day or two. And I'm telling you, that is always a battle. There'll be a huge crowd there. That's just a big rival.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be raucous up there at Livingston Academy. I think, hard to predict. Got to give maybe Riddle and Livingston Academy a little bit, but Pickett County will give them a tough game.
On Friday, looking at some district games, Red Bowling Springs going up to Salina, making about a 20-mile trip up through Hermitage Springs to go play Clay County. Clay County there on Rob Edwards Court is a very tough foe to beat. And then Gordonsville goes to Clark Range. That girls game should be an interesting one. Clark Range girls struggling a little bit right now. Gordonsville trying to knock Clark Range down. That could be a team that a preview of that 4-5 matchup, Jeff, when we get to the district tournament once again.
It could be. And Gordonsville, can they give, can they go to Clark Range, which is, we talk about tough places to play.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Rogers, there's a lot of intimidation when you go up to Clark Range, a very successful program. Can Gordonsville go and pull the upset? It'll be a tough one.
Of course, when I go in there, it's just history galore. I feel like I'm going into Hoosiers because you see all the gold balls, all the missed basketballs, all state players. I mean, our own Janie Guffey here at DTC, a member of that, and the jerseys and all that. I mean, it's really fun, and I go sometimes just to look at all that stuff and kind of relive memories of some outstanding teams that the Lady Buffaloes have had through the years. And of course, Lamar Rogers sitting there at 40 years or 40 plus years of experience as their head coach. Let's go ahead and look at what games are ahead. Pickett County then turns around and goes to Clay County. Clay County at home, they're tough. But I think Pickett County is kind of going to be a measuring stick for them. The Gordonsville at Red Bowling Springs, you better not sleep on the Bulldogs or Lady Bulldogs. I know the Bulldogs are sitting there at 1-16, whatever their record is right now. But a team that I'm sure Greg Bibb will say, hey, guys, we can't overlook this much.
No, you can. You can't overlook because, we talk about these district games, especially whenever you've got 4 teams and 5-team districts.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot take a night off.
Yeah.
Every game is important.
Very, very critical to the seeding purposes. Yeah. Looking at the 6AA upcoming games, you've got Watertown coming to Bill Landers Gym in Carthage. That girls game, that's going to be an interesting matchup. Smith County has lost 6 games in a row, really struggling on the offensive end to get many points going. Watertown at times has trouble scoring. We saw that last Friday night when they played at Cannon County. But the winner, at least after the first round of district play of the girls game, will be in 3rd place. I know you say you probably want to stay out of that 1-4 matchup with Westmoreland. I think Westmoreland, and this is no, big news, have thus far shown to be the cream of the crop. We'll see more with that Westmoreland at Cannon County game. Can Cannon County girls or boys defeat the Eagles or Lady Eagles? That's the big question.
Yeah, and if Cannon County can pull that upset, that's going to really change a few things as far as change that dynamic of the district.
Yeah.
Watertown, Smith County, I think, Terry, this is a good chance for them to get some of their confidence back.
Right.
They got a chance to pull off a win.
And that boys game, you look at Watertown going to DeKalb. They struggled at Cannon, only had 35 points. But still, Watertown, a team, anytime you've got Trent Spradlin on your team, and Watertown's got some guys at times, like KJ Wood that stepped up big for them, had 13 points in the second half in the game over at Cannon. I think if they can get that more, first-year head coach Kevin Honeycutt, those Purple Tigers could make some noise in the District 6AA race. Let's go ahead and look at some more upcoming games on Monday nights. Livingston comes to Smith County. That boys game was a close one at Livingston before Livingston pulled it off. The girls game was one side of the affair. Livingston got the big win. Then Cannon County traveling down to Lynchburg, pretty good trip down to Moore County.
That is, and that'll be a good game. Moore County, pretty, they're, very good school, and this will be a good test for Cannon County.
I think I'm gonna say that girls game should be a good one. Moore County's got a good girls squad. Cascade going to Watertown on Tuesday night, and then Community making a return visit. I think they've already played it in Bedford County. They come to Woodbury to play against Cannon County. Let's go ahead and look at some 7 AAA games, and we talked about that Pickett County and Livingston. Of course, that's a border rivalry. Overton and Pickett right there. Pickett right on the Tennessee-Kentucky line and known for their basketball tradition. Livingston, a big tradition as well. And, surprisingly, there's only about 4 losses between the 2 Livingston squads this year, and, they have a lot of success. And when you walk into the gym, you think of Durward Vaughn, you think of Howard Miller, you think of Larry Looper, you think of some outstanding coaches through the years. You take Leslie Smith and what she's done, Riddle, and what she's done through the years for Livingston. Just a ton of tradition, and every time, Jeff, they go on the floor, they expect to win.
Exactly, and especially at home. But you got Pickett and Livingston, 2 Titans colliding.
On Friday night, you've got more district play coming up. I think it starts the second round for 7 AAA. DeKalb County traveling up to Crossville to play Stone. Can DeKalb County boys stay with Stone? I think that's the question.
That'll be a huge question, because I was talking about DeKalb County. If anything, right now they're in the 6th spot. I think they can make a move to the 4, but it's a tough one against Stone. We saw what Stone did to Livingston.
White County at Upman. That's a big matchup as well for both games. I think that when you look at it, that game right there could determine 1 or 2 places as far as the seeding goes.
I think so too. I think whoever wins this has got a good shot at staying in that top 2. White County has a chance to sweep the regular season from Upperman. At Sparta, they snapped that long winning streak of Upperman. Almost a 30-point victory by White County. I don't think it's going to be quite that easy going to Baxter Friday night. As far as the guys, Warriors, I know they want to get the little bit of revenge. Upperman came to White County, got a win in overtime.
Macon County going on the road to Crossville and playing Cumberland County. And then on Saturday night, and I think this will be a great girls game, Livingston going to Creekwood.
I think so too. They're going right there as you mentioned, right around the Clarksville area. A little bit of a journey for Livingston, but as you said, Riddle and the team, they expect to win every time they go out. And
and I think that'll kind of be a measuring stick for both teams. It may result in a loss, but I think it'll make them tougher for tournaments for sure.
I think so too. Livingston is going to be they're going to be a team that's going to they're going to be a force. Watch out District 8.
Right. Let's go ahead and look at some more games that are coming up on Monday night after they make the long trip to Creekwood, and then they turn around and come down to Smith County. A measuring stick, I think, for Smith County boys. They've been kind of hot and cold since Peyton Hicks has returned. At times they look great, and at times they've struggled. And I think which out team will have to show up. It better be their A game, because Livingston run them out of the gym with their quickness and their ability to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, they are, and they're led by Isaac Story, who's very quick for Livingston. Smith County a chance to pull off a big non-district victory.
And I think it's important that Matt Farrell's team at least played Livingston close. Or when I say close, I'm talking competitively and not be a one-sided affair. On Tuesday night, we've got Cumberland County at Stone Memorial, Livingston at Macon, and then DeKalb at White County to wind up the 7 AAA games for the week. Well, Jeff, it's about wraps on another show. We enjoy looking at these scores and talking about those in the upcoming matchup. For Justin Malden and Jeff Barnes, I'm Terry Collins. Good night on the Box Score.